All right, and we are officially back 2 episodes in 1 week, but we are here, episode 191 of the Lookout podcast. Yes, we are counting this as a brand new episode. I'm, of course, Meelz.
Hey, we're padding the stats.
We're padding the stats. Listen, 200 is very close. And
Hey, we hitting Angel Reese right now.
We got to figure out what we're doing when we get there, but we're going to get there. But 200 episodes is nothing to shake a stick at. It's been amazing. Yeah. I'm, of course, here with Jabal. I'm, of course, here with AD, and we are talking about the best and the worst of manga in 2024. I'm not going to hold you. Manga this year, for me, my personal experience, it was fire until some titles ended, and now it's more like casual reading for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not in demand reading. It's not, let me go catch that. It's not, let me go tap into this real quick. It's Sunday at 10 a.m. Let me go think it. It's not that anymore, unfortunately. We got a visitor.
Just ignore her.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep it.
Gotcha. With the video, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, right?
With that said, let's get into the best and worst of manga 2024. This one won't be as long as the other one, but it's still very pertinent. A title who could have a best and a worst of itself. Just pretty much on its own. Jujutsu Kaisen. And what it did this year. It could have a best and a worst of its own. We could be doing the best and worst of Jujutsu Kaisen of 2024 all on its own. Because that is how Jujutsu Kaisen was in 2024.
It had some highs. It had some lows.
It had questions.
It had questions. It had some mids. It was a roller coaster of a ride. I'll say that for the least.
I'm going to. All right. So Jujutsu Kaisen ended this year. In fact, it ended specifically in Shonen Jump. Oh, it doesn't show you the date. It ended September 29th. In Shonen Jump. But I'm going to go to, so this should rethink everyone's memory. I'm going to go, what was the first chapter that was released this year, and let you know what happened. The first chapter this year that was released was my man, what's his name? The lawyer.
Higuruma?
Yeah, throwing the sword to Yuji. To use. Do you know the sword that was supposed to be the one-hit shot that killed him? That was the first chapter.
Start of the year.
That was the start of the year. And then immediately next chapter, of course, it doesn't fucking kill him. There's 30 more chapters.
What the fuck? All right, bro.
So that was the first chapter released this year.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta go into
there's no.
Sometimes you gotta go to the lawyer world to get the secret sword to kill the demon king.
There is
sometimes you just gotta do that.
There's no sometimes fuck it for the best and the worst of this year. It is either the best or it is the worst. So many things happen. We got the return.
I gotta fall on my sword. I gotta stay with the best because
you wouldn't be the only one falling on your damn sword in this damn series at this point. Because we got so many people who actually fell on their sword. What's my man's name? Yuta Okotsu. Boy, in my opinion, went out sad this year. The Yuta Okotsu lore to me. When he took his brain out and he put it in the body of that man and started using his limbs to do all his stuff, that is when I was like, oh, all right. The Steve Harvey thing of like, oh, you're crazy. That is me this year with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, man, listen, sometimes you gotta.
This isn't best or worst. This is just Jujutsu Kaisen.
This is just venting at this point.
You gotta put your brain in your homeboy's body to beat up the bigger villain because he got more powers than you. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You ain't never done that before. I don't know. Maybe you should live a little.
Put your brain in 80's body and see what the fuck goes on. How about that?
I'll be smart as hell, and I'll be a demon on the edge. I'll be a demon. I'll be a demon. I'll be a demon. Hey,
use your body for
a front line would never want to see me coming. That's all I gotta say.
To the final chapters.
Would never.
How about this? What was the peak of the final chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen for both of you guys? Since we're heading towards the last year we covered the Gojo versus Sukuna. It is over. This year, the return of Yuta, the return of Maki, the return of Miguel, the return of so many other people. The fight that never happened between the old lady and the Puerto Rican guy. So many things happened. What would you say was the peak moment for you during this period?
For me, it's like two peak moments. It's finally getting Yuta's domain expansion and him being able to use everybody's curse technique. That was kind of like one of the hardest moments. It was. Come on, man. It was.
No, I can't wait.
No, everybody.
You know what? No,
to wait for this.
We're gonna get to the end of another certain manga, and I can't wait to bring up goddamn.
Wait for the end of it, and it's like I actually can use any curse technique. It's like, all right, cool move, guys.
No, man, I want to hear
it. No, it's that one. Is that one, and then Miguel's curse technique of him being a break dancer, but like every move is him buffing. Like those probably my two peak moments. Like I appreciate both of those.
LJ, peak moments of the end of Jujutsu Kaisen this year.
Peak moment, my boy Toto coming back on his. I got more cowbell. More cowbell, baby.
Stuck a new thing in his arm and said, "You know what?
More cowbell, baby."
We clap at this now.
I put my pants on one leg at a time. But when I got my pants on, I make hit records.
Notice how there's a moment that happened and we can't even call it a peak moment just because of the way that it happened. Like
what?
Which one?
Sukuna dying?
No, not that one. The one that at that point it was like 5 more chapters left, and then the very next week we get Nobara coming back, but it's like,
oh yeah,
Nobara came back. Come on, man, with the eye.
But it was like 5 chapters left, and it's like at the very end of the fight, and it's like, oh, we only gave her 15 minutes to work. She woke up 15 minutes ago, and we gotta already suit her up for this moment, like.
Sometimes, hey, listen. Sometimes you just got to get thrown into the game. There ain't no warm ups.
This was some bullshit, in my opinion. The series was some bullshit.
No, it's.
Don't get me wrong. The peaks are.
I'm not in 2024 arguing about this anymore.
The peaks are the peaks, but the whole like we're establishing things after you've seen them conveniently. We discussed it beforehand. Thing to me was not fire, but the moments are fire. The Nobara moment is fire. The Yuji kind of finding his own agency and thing, taking Sukuna into his domain and stuff is fire. What else is fire? I guess Higuruma was fire. He was cool.
You know what I'm saying? There's some good
death
moments.
Death of Choso, but also revival of the guy like. The better brother died, in my opinion. In my opinion. And then what the fuck happened at the end? It was just like, this is my Jujutsu Kaisen kind of ending. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that was kind of it.
I'm sorry I smoked your dad. Come on, man.
Very unfire.
Right, whatever. Move on. We're moving on. Let's go to the other one. Let's talk about the other one that ended.
Well, let's talk about the other ending. The ending that came before this one, My Hero Academia. It ended this year. Talk about it. I mean,
yeah, my boy Deku flipping burgers. My boy Deku being
The memes are the best part about this one.
He worked. Hey, listen, my boy Deku working the ISS room. He working in-room suspension.
He is a teacher, just like everyone can grow up. Everyone knows at least 5 teachers. We never thought we'd grow up with knowing this many teachers, but everyone knows someone who just went into teaching. You know what I'm saying? Just like, fuck it. Graduated from college, just somehow a teacher. You know what I'm
He
saying?
a para assistant. You work in the level 5 classrooms. You work
Let
in the
me.
classrooms. They don't have doorknobs on the outside.
The first chapter for My Hero Academia that released this year. Let's see. It wasn't that many that released this year. Chapter 411. It was the chapter where um, he steals Shigaraki steals the ninth, and they're like, oh my god, he can steal our quirks, and he starts stealing the ninth, and then Deku eventually learns like I can actually throw my quirks at him and get inside, and then save him from the inside, and all that other jazz like that. Listen, to me, again, I love this ending. It just is what it is. The callbacks, the battle, the ending thing, all the other students coming to help in the final sequence. The posts, you get a little post thing. We all grown up now. We got jobs. I'm the number 8 hero. I'm the number 11th hero. My Hero Academia ending was a good ending, and it was sad that it was ending, but it definitely ended without as many questions as some
They didn't
as
have
another
as many
series.
Did they have as many hiccups down the road as My Beloved? No.
Nah, I think
But did they have a cool sword at the end that can one hit kill a demon? No. So
Deku lost both of his arms. We got the
he was running like a Naruto character.
The big twist at the end that it was All For One who actually gave Shigaraki his quirk and took his original quirk away from him. We don't know what his original quirk ends up being, but we got that twist at the end. There's so many different things that happen at the end. I think this is going to be a great ending, but I would say vastly different from Jujutsu Kaisen. But I think it satisfies the Jujutsu Kaisen ending. I think satisfied its audience in a certain way, and then My Hero Academia ending satisfied its audience in a certain way. Yeah. But I don't know if they satisfied. Like I don't know if Jujutsu Kaisen was satisfied what happened behind My Hero Academia. And
let's be real.
I'll say
Jujutsu Kaisen barely satisfied anyone's. The conversation around it was horrible. That's what I said. I give up.
Yeah, I'll say My Hero has the more satisfying, especially like even the post epilogue chapter that came out with the volume. Like, he got the girl in the end. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Start a little insecure, you know what I'm saying? But like My Hero insecure. So that was dope. Unfortunately, no one really died. You got the end of Dabi. Yeah. Dabi didn't even die. Wasn't that crazy? He just turned into like a tree.
That nigga just wanted to be cold. He wanted cold soba. That's all he wants now. His dysfunctional family gets their happy ending.
Toga died, so that was pretty cool. Let's see who else didn't die. Shigaraki died, so that was
Torino still kicking.
Gran Torino still died, but he didn't get involved in the final fight, so that was pretty tough.
He didn't die though.
He didn't die though. Yeah. But he didn't get involved, so he knew he kept his place. If he pulled up to the fight, yeah, he should have died. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't part of the final fight.
He should have died.
Should have died
Hawk's
earlier.
Still alive. Yeah. Like
Hawks is still alive, kind of. Yeah, he just has no quirk, and somehow his vestige is like getting bitches and his all for one and shit. It was an ending, and it played a role with all the characters involved, and if you watch season 7 of My Hero Academia, season 8 only continues that. And yeah, even Bakugo got a couple moments in it as well. So very, very good. Very, very good ending. One series that I thought would have ended by now, but is not, is Chainsaw Man. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Chainsaw Man. Fujimoto is a sicko to the umpteenth degree for the chapters that he put out this year. Especially the one where
it's at a certain point where it's just like, what is he really?
You just gotta be along for the ride.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah,
I
I
see.
just like, man, what's he really
So
trying to tell us right now?
so I read the entire. I reread the entire thing. It's because I've been doing week by week. It just gets fucked. It's just nuts. I think this is something you need to binge because week by week the shit only gets nuttier and nuttier. You know what I'm saying? With the Statue of Liberty and the X-rated chapter that broke the internet and all this other stuff like that. Like it gets nutty. But I think what he's doing is he's telling the story of how everyone is kind of wants to use what's the man's name? It's not Yuji, right?
Dingy.
Denji.
Denji.
Wants to use Denji. It's sinking him lower and lower as a person. Like you didn't think it could get any lower with kind of like how the last series ended, but he's getting lower and lower. But he's learning to build himself back up. And I think that's where we're at now. We're at the rebuilding process of Denji. Um, because he can't think any lower of himself. I mean, they killed Nayuta, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it's Chainsaw Man, everyone dies.
Yeah.
They I mean, Nayuta was kind of all that he has, but he's trapped in another world currently. Like, there's so many different things that are happening. He doesn't know whether he wants to get laid. He doesn't know whether he doesn't want to get laid. He's still trying to figure himself out during it, and I think he's beginning to figure himself out a bit through this. But can he defeat all the other devils that are lurking there? We shall see. But I don't know when we get into this in the anime. Probably like 2030. Because that movie is
We
Yeah.
still
never
not
getting
out.
this in anime.
Yeah, at this point, just don't even bother. But he's a full sicko. This year in Kagurabachi. Originally,
I've never seen something take over the world like this. Once again, me and AD talked about it last week. When's the last time we saw a manga before the first chapter legit just be like shoot it to the
It's the
moon
next
like
hottest thing.
immediately.
right. Well, this is like the first full year that it got. I think Kagurabachi, it debuted um late 2023, probably around late summer 2023. This is the kind of like full year. You get the full swath. We're getting multiple arcs currently. Here's my take on Kagurabachi. I get why people like it. I'm not completely sold on it still, and I've read it. You know what I'm saying? I'm caught up. Um, I still don't think they do a good job at communicating the full plot and the motivations of all these characters outside of like, I gotta go, you know, on some Jason Bourne shit, like I gotta go get my sword back, or I gotta go get my girl back, or I gotta go get this child back, or I gotta go do this. So I don't think they do a good job of communicating the overarching
Just like
theme of
the motives behind
yeah,
why
yeah.
why
I
do you
mean,
let him go?
he's trying to save the swords. He's trying to get all the swords. Yes, yes. And he has
Yeah.
to go through all these things to kind of like get the swords. But I think they could do a better job at communicating this through feeling, inner monologue, because everything is so external monologue in this thing. Everyone
Yeah.
has there's so much text bubbles during this shit. I think it's a lot to read, which is crazy for an action thing. And it's not that crazy, but it's like there's a lot to read for this, which I think could be like if you establish the plot, if you establish a setting, if you there's not enough chapters where people are like talking about kind of like where the plot is going and kind of stuff. But to me, it's solid. I'm glad I'm caught up to it, but it's not it's still not dragging me over to Shonen Jump. AD, what's up?
I'll say I completely agree, but it's also in the same vein of like we were talking about it before we started the podcast on it, like how I feel about it, and that one is carrying that torch that I feel like Naruto wanted to do, or like
Mm-hmm.
because for one thing, it feels more like ninjas than Naruto does. If it has like the assassination attempts, it has like that kind of secret society type of thing. It does those type of things that I feel like Naruto could have did, and tried, like, because it's ninjas, you feel like it should do more of that, but it doesn't. So it's like, okay, well, even in Boruto, they kind of do that. But with like this type of storytelling, like you said, there's not really a lot of internal dialogue or conflict. There's only like one character, and he had the major arc with like the auction or whatever, and that was
With
probably
his
like the
family and
best.
shit.
Yeah, like that was a really good arc that happened this year. So like that's one of those things where I like really appreciate Kagurabachi for it, because it like gave us another character to kind of play the foil to
Yeah,
Chihiro, and like his like brooding nature and everything like that. We kind of got a little bit more of that in his.
and I feel like he's getting. I mean, Chihiro, he's getting softer in a sense, or like more, but
Yeah,
it's not like. I don't know. I feel like I'm not along the ride. Maybe it's just my disinterest with it. I don't feel like I'm on the ride with like where his development as a character is going. Um, and I don't see it in like the broad strokes. Maybe it's just very tiny strokes that I see it. But I don't see it in broad strokes. But he's trying to avenge his daddy, and get all his daddy swords, and you know, all that other stuff like that. But I think we're in a good place with it. Um,
it also just feels like he's still like, for Shonen Jump and for like a main character who's like very young and he has this type of swords or everything like that, he already feels like he's too far along, as to where
mhm.
like a lot of the contemporaries who are at that point in the story of their
Yeah.
stories, they're like still learning their own powers or whatever. So it's like, dang, bro, you gonna like you that nigga, but like,
How many chapters do you think this series goes?
I think it could push 200 plus. Like,
Mm, I feel like we're getting like 130. I don't know. I don't know. You're right though. He's kind of like far along with the process where most other things are. I know this isn't a regular shonen where it's like got to train to use my powers, but he gonna have some other power breakthrough. I mean, he kind of has. He's learned the cloud shit and all the other stuff like that, but it doesn't. I'm not along the ride of the development. LJ, have you read any of Kagurabachi or care about it?
Yeah, I read the first half of it. I like it. My reading habits have been horrible this year. Like y'all know me, I'll just crank out 100 chapters in one day just because I'm like, oh, I should probably finally catch up. But no, I think that it's right now. It's filling the void of popular shonen that Shonen Jump needs. It's action based. People like it. It's not really too hard to digest. You have a main character that people like. You have side characters that people like. They look fucking cool. It's doing all the right things.
Yeah,
it's doing all the right things to be popular. It's
other
doing
people
all the
like it.
right.
I mean, I don't.
That's what
People
I'm
like it.
saying. Like
People like
people
it,
like
so it
it.
is.
I mean, people have liked it since even before chapter one. We saw the memes the week of the drop.
Yeah, and it's getting an anime
And so
now. So
and it's getting an anime. So like it's doing what it needs to do. And how I said it last episode is that right now the tropes and the things are very repetitive and they feel repetitive and the characters feel repetitive across the board. I think
yeah,
right now Kagurabachi is leaning a little bit more into the whole like John Wick of the spiritual world thing, which I feel is
sure,
just
yeah,
working. And
yeah.
and
No,
I
it
can't
is.
hate on that. It's working really well.
I agree. Too many people like this manga's peak. You know what I'm saying? Um,
that's the terrible word.
yeah, I agree.
I hate it when people say that.
Sakamoto Days again, another fun year. I don't think Sakamoto Days has really fallen
It's the
off.
best thing on SJ.
Yeah, they just find new creative ways to showcase different characters or tell different stories or come up with different assassination attempts. I think it's arguably the most consistent, most creative, most um, definitely the most consistent. I don't think it's missed a week. It's maybe missed like 1 week since.
I think, listen, unless it gets his mandatory breaks, he's like, hey, I'm in the office.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Y'all getting a
saying.
chapter.
So the
Yeah,
everything
like
is
you
just
said, it's
great,
consistent. I think the consistency is the highest praise, and not even just
and
release. schedule, consistency
Mhm.
in terms of story, characters. Like it's consistent. Not every chapter has to be this. Oh my gosh, this is a groundbreaking chapter. But the fact that it's like every chapter is a pretty much like a this
It's
is good.
something. I
Yeah, you
mean,
know, like
old
Something
I've
episodes
is
to
never
head
been.
happening.
off. Something, yeah, something is happening. You know what I'm saying?
Something is
Um,
happening and it's never too much and it's never too little. Um, there's never been a moment where I think any of us have been like, man, this Sakamoto chapter was ass this week. Like
there's been
I
there's been times I've like read it and just like, oh, okay. But I've never thought it was like outright terrible or the plot is going in a bad direction or something. It might have just been like I took a week or two off and don't even remember. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Kind of thing if I'm reading weekly, but it's never that. And I expect once the anime drops, it'll be even more popular. I think because of how good this manga is, when the anime drops, this manga will become immensely more popular because of how good this manga is. People will
as
watch
long as
it, see it, want to read it, and be like, "Oh, this shit is fire." Oh, it gets
as
even more
long as
fire.
the slideshow days rumors ain't true, we should be good.
Mm.
We should be smooth
Yeah,
sailing.
yeah.
Um, Hunter x Hunter is back. 80. I've not read it. Is he in his bag?
He is. He's searching for things in his bag.
Mm.
You know, he's searching.
He's searching for things in his bag.
I'm just,
It's a great way to explain Togashi right now.
there's a lot of things going on in this bag.
He
It's
he
like a
left
woman's purse, bro. Like
he
you
left the
know,
bag. He left the bag somewhere a long time ago. Finally got it back, and it was like, what the fuck? I even got it in here, bro.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, I'm just happy that he's back. It doesn't feel like there's any fall off. The last set of chapters that he wrote was around in 2022, and that was mostly like Phantom Troop backstory. And so with this one, we're kind of like gauging back and like connecting a lot of the dots with the secession war that's going on and how people are one figuring out how to use Nin, two trying to make alliances with other people across the ship. People are searching for Hisoka because there's Phantom Troop involved and everything like that. So a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different factions are involved, and there is the biggest thing that came out within this set of chapters is Netero's son, Netero's son is one of the military guards who's founding this expedition into the Dark Continent. And he's actually been a playboy. He has a lot of illegitimate kids with a lot of the royal guards. So he has his own small army within the royal army. So like there are people who want to kill him because of him just like sleeping with a bunch of women and like trying to make his own type of succession war in this. um there's a lot of people who are still trying to figure out who is um, doing certain things within the family. There are certain people who have actually died within the family, and there's this one thing with Crollo that's going on where he's trying to find Hisoka, and um, during this entire thing, there's a martial law that's been put into place, and so there's a lockdown going on within the ship. So it's like a lot of different moving parts. Like I say, he's searching for things in his bag, and there's a lot of shit in this bag that he has going on. But the fact that he is still writing to this day, he's been putting updates on his Twitter page consistently about like where he's at. I think the last chapter was 410, and he has storyboards for up to like chapter 430. So like he's still pushing forward. I
Man,
think
listen, they lost
gives
Horikoshi
you on mute.
and they lost they lost Horikoshi and Akutami and they just pulled Togashi off the bed. They about to kill my man's.
Yeah, yeah. Meelz, you on mute.
I was about to say Horikoshi's coming back, but nah, they definitely they wheeling Togashi out. I'm like, listen, man, just wrap it up, bro. And that's all I want from. Listen, if they said like, listen, 40 chapters, just give us that. You better wrap it up.
It's not wrapping up within that amount of time. I guarantee you, it's not.
All right, well,
hell no. He's like essentially starting a whole new everything.
All right, well,
they ain't even landed in the continent yet, unless the final chapter is them landing in the continent and everyone dies immediately.
This shit is pushing 500.
He better have a Toyotoro. Let's see. Blue Box. Taiki and Chinatsu finally are dating. So that's a thing. They're dating. They're enjoying one another's company. We get all types of adventures. Hina, stop hating. Kyo's going through his own little quiet observant crush thing. Things are heating up in the Blue Box world. I'll be honest with you.
He is the one who I feel about the most.
I like his development. I like his he was too cool for school and now he's not. And then he fainted and now he's definitely not cool anymore. But lots of things going on. Hating ass dad pull up. That's always a twist. Dad looks like he don't play. And now it's kind of turned into Boy Meets World, which I don't really like. Low key on the lowest of keys, it's turned into Boy Meets World. But what are you gonna do? Worst of 2024, leak culture. I mean, I think it's finished. I think, but leak culture during the Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero thing, and it's not. I don't think leak culture was like. I think with JJK was more abrasive. JJK was like literally you pull up your timeline one day, dead body just right in front of us. I was like, oh God, he died. You know, I didn't even ask to know this. You know what I'm saying? So leak culture is definitely one of the worst things this year. Unfortunately, it used to be just like you go to a website, you read a chapter early. But now with the advent of social media, you log on to your Twitter and you gotta mute every single fucking term.
It's like to a point where they're getting damn rough drafts.
Yeah, like, no, for sure.
Like, how the hell did you get this half-drawn panel?
Hey man, listen. It was real bad in JJK days. It's definitely eased up a little bit, but I think you said One Piece is still
Nah, One Piece, you fuck around and you might fuck around and find the One Piece in that league culture.
That's funny. I don't see anything One Piece, but I also am not as tapped in as AD is. But I, at the point I didn't run from JJK anymore. I was like, all right, I just gotta embrace it. One of the worst, even though it's one of the best. Kaiju number 8's been stuck in the same arc all year. I thought it was the final arc, but now we're getting some like new shit.
I told you.
We're getting the backstory.
I was
just like, all right, well, all right, bro. And the bi-weekly thing doesn't help either because I'm like, yo, this shit should have been finished. But yeah, now I mean, it looks like he's getting into his ultimate bag. So Kaiju number 8 will still be rolling in 2025. Worst thing, Spy Family. What are you doing, bro? It's a tale about a psychic, a assassin, and a spy. And at some point, they're supposed to learn about each other at one point. And we haven't even got there yet. Maybe they never learn about each other. But I feel like low-key, one of them's supposed to know the other one is fooling right now. It would make it for a lot more intriguing story. But I like.
I ain't gonna go to college before that shit come out.
Listen, man, he writes 7 times a year. What can I do with 7 chapters?
I like the little arc. I like the butler and the lady that he was like with 25 million years ago arc. I thought that was pretty cute. That's all I've really liked from this year. But there's supposed to be a season 3 of this, so I'm interested to see where it goes. I think we're gonna get the backstory of what's my man's name? Lloyd. Yeah, I think that comes in this season. So that is that. Where's the 2024 World Trigger? I don't read this. What the fuck happened, AD?
So how you feel, how we all feel about Kaiju number 8 and how long that arc's taking, expand that by 3 years.
No. But you used to it, right? It was One Piece.
No, because
no. I'm not trying to listen, not to defend World Trigger, but isn't it monthly?
Yes, it's monthly, but also he's sick sometimes. So there are times where the chapters don't come out for that month. So like,
you can't like maybe 20 chapters. 20 chapters in 3 years.
You can't use a sick excuse if you're only dropping chapters once a month. I mean, you could because it's a lot more you have to write, but
But like, so like this month he dropped one chapter. I think last month he didn't drop one. The month before that he may have dropped two chapters. And it's like that type of inconsistency where it's like you're already still pushing the same arc. We're not doing the action battle shit in the rank wars that we loved back when we were doing Big Eyes. We're doing like some tactical shit for them to train to go on a way mission for them to do like some world shit, some war shit like they do in Kaiju number 8. We're not even at that point yet. We're just trying to figure out what kind of soldiers we even have and how do they think. Like we're not even into like actual fighting and combat
Hey, a
shit, bro.
3-year training arc is kind of crazy.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
that would ruin me like by a lot. So yeah, I feel your pain. The final words that we have, well, it's not the final words. It may still be some terrible shit. Super's not back yet. What's the like? Well, yeah,
It ended this year though, didn't it? It ended this year.
I thought
it
it
was last year.
Wait, after
No, we got the last chapter around the time that Toriyama passed, and it was that big fight.
It was no, it was showing Ultra Beast Gohan and
him fighting against Broly, and then like the Goten and Trunks fight. You know, all of them coming together. It was like that was like the last chapter.
That's crazy. Damn.
Dang, so it's done?
I don't think so. It's not supposed to
done,
be.
But like that was the last thing that we got.
Yeah, it should be done. It sounded like it's done. Meelz is a little hurt by this, and seeing him realize this in real time is crazy.
Nah, it's like no. So my thing was, I thought it ended last year. So I thought it's been, but it did end March of 2024. So I completely spaced it. And this was like, yeah, this was right around the time it probably came out. When did we learn Akira Toriyama? Listen, all right, so it came out March 2024, which would be the same month that Akira Toriyama passed. Mind you, we didn't learn about Akira Toriyama pass until a week later, which was some fire shit.
Hey,
it was
man,
like
I can't wait to do
we got to know it was like, yo, he actually last week he passed. He's like, last week? Yeah, we had the service already, you know, it was fire. We just ain't want no one to, you know, pull up on, you know,
He said the food was banging at the repass.
Yeah,
was,
bro.
You know,
Toyotaro was there and he drew some shit and he was still working on the chapter and oh man, I gotta reread Super then. It was pretty
crazy.
It's like the best and the worst.
Yeah, it's the best and the worst.
No, it's the worst this year.
Good ending.
Boruto readers, they're the worst this year because they have Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
and they're in a abusive relation. Yeah, you know, you're not.
You're right. You're right. I'm one of them. You're completely right. That shit is ass.
You need to leave. Leave that man.
That's fire and
you
hilarious.
Need to leave that man.
80 any manga that came out this year that people should tap into.
There's like 3 that I think. Surprisingly, Astro Royale, Ken Wakui from Tokyo Revengers. He jumped over to Shonen Jump. And I think he's trying to take over. You know, that's not a bad read. I think people should actually, you know, tap into that. What else? What is it? Ichi the Witch from another veteran author. They made what's the name of it? I forget the name. It's like Hiruma or something like that. They have a really good one, and their artist is from one of the older series that got canceled because of their writer was kind of a weirdo. But I think this is a very good series. Like, you know, the writer is something else. The artist is really good. I think they should tap into that. And then Hero Organization is a new one. It's a sci-fi mech adventure about a dad who makes a lot of mechs in like this factory for this ongoing war in space. And his son is a really good like gamer who likes his works and everything like that. So he wants to grow up to become a pilot eventually. So his dad gets enlisted. And that's all I want to say. His dad gets enlisted. He's not as good, but those first 3 chapters, all you got to read is those first 3 chapters. If those first 3 chapters don't pull you in, you can come back to me. You can add me. You can say like, "Nah, this is some ass." But I think those 3 chapters should sell you on the type of story that they're going to push for the story. That's
What was the
probably my biggest one.
What was the name of the last one again?
Hero Organization.
Okay, all right.
It's on the Manga Plus, but it's like the same thing as like Kaiju number 8 and Don to Don.
Okay, okay. I've only been. I mean, this is very weird. With Hema 10, that's it is about a kid who's a housekeeper and some girl that moves in, and then you would think the plot gets completely like strange and things because it's Japanese. But essentially, like this high school housekeeper runs this housekeeping business, and like this girl who's very very rich comes in. He's the housekeeper for her, but they also go to school together. But she kind of like develops a crush on him. But some other girls come in and they have crushes on him, so she's trying to figure out how to bag. Like,
It
just
sounds
some
very anime.
slice of life, big slice of life thing. I needed that. I needed that. It's in the same vein as Blue Box, but without sports. More just housekeeping and like internet shit.
Also, everybody should go read Don to Don.
Yeah, go read Don to Don.
It's ending. So it's ending this week. So I will read it. Actually, I'm actually
It's
going
not
to read it.
well. Oh, I thought you were talking about the manga.
No. The anime is ending this week, so I'm going to actually pick up Don to Don. Even though I'm pretty sure Don to Don is coming back next year.
Don to Don's gonna, yeah.
But with that said,
hold up. I got one more hater statement before we leave because we missed it on the last episode, but the manga is just as ass. So I could throw it on this episode. But Blue Lock.
I thought you gave Blue Lock a chance, and you were like, "Oh, it's not as bad." I thought that's where you were with it.
Ooh-wee. How that? Hey, listen. It turned to shit real quick. I'll say that.
It's got a whole. Isn't the season playing currently? Like,
oh man,
yes, there is a season out right now. People have been slandering the season from what I've been seeing.
It's bad. It's bad business.
But it was bad from the beginning. It was bad from the beginning, bro. I could tell you from the first 2 episodes, I was like, this is some bullshit.
Man, I was like, man, maybe they got something. Maybe they. I was like, not even that they got something, but I'm like, okay, they can. They got enough pieces where I'm like, you can do this. It's like you got some good prospects. It's like there's no reason you should be this bad. It's bad.
Blue Lock. Thumbs down. Yeah, I'm here with it. I'm here for the Blue Lock slander because I thought that shit was ass from the beginning, and I'm glad to confirm that you've confirmed that you've indulged in it through multiple mediums.
I've reconfirmed. Yeah, I've and triple confirmed.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, thank you for confirming that, and thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, the best and the worst of Manga 2024. There's only so much to read, so we're going on break. I'm going to re-binge My Hero. I am going to, because that's what I do on a yearly basis to keep me regular. I'm going to continue because I stopped at the time skip. The arc after the time skip. So I'm at Fisherman Island arc, which is supposed to be reanimated, but I'm not going to wait for that. I'm just going to watch whatever the fuck it is. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to catch Wisteria. I'm going to try to catch that. And I'm going to try to read the manga that you've recommended. So that is what I'm going to do over my holiday break. What do you guys plan? What do you guys need to do over your holiday break? What you feel like you need to do?
I got games I got to catch up on. I'm not even gonna hold you. I got a backlog of stuff that I'm just trying to play through. Like I'm gonna do some reading. Like there's a couple of shows like Oblivion Battery, is something that I'm catching up on as far as like anime, and then I'm gonna dive into the manga, and then a lot of the Shonen Jump stuff that's about to end, like Yozakura Family. I got to catch up to Akane Banashi, but a lot of the games that are sitting right here, got to play some more Sparking Zero. It's a lot of different things to tap into.
Do you?
I mean, you're
I mean, you got the controls down at this point.
Yeah, it's Sparking Zero. What are you doing out? What can we hold you? What can we hold you to? What do?
I'm gonna catch up on everything Shonen Jump.
All right, yeah,
Everything,
okay.
everything Shonen Jump. I'll be
I
fully
don't
caught
blame
up.
him.
By the next time we talk, I'm gonna sound like Big Eyes LJ again.
All right.
I'm gonna put the big eyes. I'm gonna put the big eyes glasses on.
I'll believe it when I see it, but we're gonna hold you to that, my friend. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, this is not the end of the week. We still got one more day of this Subslide, Dubslide. They're going over the best anime fights of the year. We have saved the best for last, because they're going to go over everything that the big fights that have happened this year in anime and beyond. But until then, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to us this year. We will be back next year, bigger, badder, and blacker. That's what Chris Rock said.
I will be a couple shades darker.
I don't. I mean, I'm black, but if we talking skin tone, I can't contribute much into this.
We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. Cut your brain out and put it inside of someone else.
Cut my brain
maybe
out.
We'll figure it out. But until then, again, don't meet us there, beat us there. This is a lookout, and we'll see you guys next year.